So, my name is Second814, and I just got back from seeing Ant-Man. Yes, the latest superhero movie from Marvel. And I have to say, it was pretty good. So yeah, let's go over the basic plot. So the movie begins in 1989, where Professor Hank Pym is confronting the higher-ups of his company about why they stole his invention, the Pym particle, which reduces things on an atomic level, basically meaning it shrinks them. So yeah, they want to use it for government and all that kind of crap. So yeah, he resigns. Skip ahead to the present day, and a convicted thief, or should I say convicted burglar, Scott Lang is getting released from prison. So, he gets released and gets picked up by his buddy. So, his buddy offers him a place to stay, and he decides he's going to get a job so he can turn his life around and see his daughter. So he tries to get a job at Baskin Robbins, but turns out they don't like people who have a record. And he didn't tell them that but they found out. And basically, he gets fired, so he's down on his luck. And basically, he can't get money. I'll go over why that's important in a second. So, we're back at Pym Corporations. We see Hank Pym returning there, and to be shown some new technology. So basically, he gets taken into a lab where the guy who he chose to mentor before he left has basically created a version of his technology known as the Yellow Jacket, a suit that can shrink down an angry grow whenever they basically he wants to sell it as a weapon, so he can create an army of Yellow Jackets around the globe. So yeah, basically Hank Pym disapproves, and basically they need a couple. They only have days to make sure he doesn't sell the technology. So I'll cut back to Scott Lang, and basically he's gone to his daughter's birthday party, even though he's not supposed to be there. But yeah, he goes to the party, and he and his ex-wife's new fiance get into a fight because he's not supposed to be there. Apparently, he doesn't have visiting rights. So, basically, he and his ex-wife have a chat, and his ex-wife tells him that he can, if he gets a job and turns his life around, and he's able to pay child support, she'll be willing to discuss visiting rights. But of course, because of his record, no one's really going to hire him. So he basically asks his buddy about a tip that he had heard of. So his friend goes into a very, very long explanation, very funny explanation too, about the job or a robbery. So, or should I say heist, really. So, they get hold of the job, and basically, Scott goes in and gets into the old man's safe, and there's nothing there except a very, very weird suit, which Scott calls a biker suit. That's kind of funny, actually. Excuse me. So basically, he takes the suit home and then tries it on, and he shrinks down to the size of an ant. And he has quite the ordeal. We hear Professor Hank Pym talking to him through it. And the suit, I mean, through the suit. Sorry. So, continuing on, he decides he doesn't want the suit anymore. So he goes to put it back, but gets caught leaving. And he tries to talk his way out, but fails. Miserably. He tells the cops, I'm just returning something that I stole. Dumbass. So, basically, he gets arrested, and then he gets told that his lawyer is here to see him, who is actually Hank Pym. Yes, Professor Hank Pym himself, who explains to Scott that, well, he wants his help. So, Scott have a nice chat, and Scott goes back to his cell. And some ants, yes, ants, let's bring him in a suit, miniaturized. You just blow it up. Scott puts on the suit, and basically, and shrinks down and escapes, and then gets taken to Professor Hank Pym's house. He meets his daughter Hope. And then he gets introduced to Pym, who basically explains to him that he wants Scott to break into his old corporation and steal the Yellow Jacket technology before it can be sold. So yeah. And so he trains with the suit. Doesn't go so well at first. I mean, yeah, sure, or he tries, but doesn't go so well as always. So, anyways, back at the corporation, the new guy who's planning to sell the Yellow Jacket technology is trying to experiment because, well, the shrinking technology isn't exactly perfect yet. So he basically tries experimenting on a goat, and the goat does shrink, but in the process gets reduced to a small little piece of red and useless jelly. So, after that, well, basically, going back to Scott, he's training, and this time, and now Hank tries to teach him how to control ants. Yes, control ants, because that's basically what Ant-Man does. Come on, he's Ant-Man, and he's affiliated with ants. So, and he learns all the ants, and must admit there is some amusing bits where he's underground in several ant nests that Mr. Him has in his yard. But yeah, dude's got a serious ant infestation. So yeah, there are some amusing bits where he tries to have fun with communicate with the ants, but fails, and it's funny. I mean, yeah. So, basically, after he fails to try to get the ant to try to get the ants to put the sugar in the coffee, Hope does it, and basically he shows off her ant skills, or ant controlling skills, and then walks out because she wants to wear the Ant-Man suit, but her father keeps saying no. So she walks out, and so then she and Scott have a very short discussion. Well, I shouldn't say short, but yeah, they have a discussion in her car about why he's there, and basically Scott explains to Hope, yes, Hank Pym's daughter, that Mr. Pym just doesn't want to lose his daughter. And I should mention that all this time, it turns out that Hank Pym and his daughter Hope don't exactly have the greatest of relationships. Basically, Hope lost her mother, and she was always told it was in a car crash. And however, then we learned that Hank Pym's wife, Hope's mother, didn't really die in a car crash. As it turns out, they were trying to stop. He and his wife were trying to stop an intercontinental ballistic missile from reaching the United States, and basically, Hope's mother was lost because of the Ant-Man technology. Yes, she turned off a regulator, which prevents a person who wears the Ant-Man technology from shrinking constantly for eternity. Which means they will enter a quantum realm. Basically, he'd be lost forever. So yeah. Anyways, so they have a nice. So Hank Pym and Hope basically reconnect, and of course Scott ruins a moment. So yeah, they train up, and then Hank Pym sends Scott to retrieve something from an old warehouse. Unfortunately, it's not an old warehouse. It is the Avengers' new facility. And and I should mention that yes, he is using ants because yes, he is able to successfully control the ants. So he goes in and then gets spotted by an Avenger. And I'm sorry here, I don't know who the Avenger is. Feel free to leave a comment letting me know who it is if you've seen the movie. So yeah, they get into a fight, and basically Ant-Man kicks his ass, and then gets in and steals the device that they were looking for. So yeah, so they're trying to plan on how to break into the. No, back up. So they come back one night, and unfortunately, Hank's old student is there. Yes, yes. So they have a nice discussion, and unfortunately though, nothing happened. Just except that Hank's old student, Jason. Yes, that's his name. Sorry, I didn't mention it earlier. But yeah, I asked Hank to be there for her to watch the Yellow Jacket technology be sold in the morning. So, and also say that he's ramping up security at PM Industries. So, yeah. Then they figure out, well, they need some help to pull it off. So they get Hank and Scott's friends from the apartment who also help them pull off the heist. So yeah, and this leads to a rather amusing scene where Scott shows off the Ant-Man technology and makes them all freak out. And I have to admit, it is very funny. So yeah, basically, they get their throws down, and they go, and in the morning they go and basically he planned to break in and stop the Yellow Jacket technology from being sold. Dark in here. Be right back. Alright. That's better. Anyway, so yeah. They decided to break in and and in the morning they're going, and I should mention that Scott, sorry, has to now break in through the water main. And so yeah, they break into the water main. So there you go, and basically they he, they they start the operation, but run into a few hitches at first, but nothing major. So yeah, they go in, and Scott goes in his plan and plans charges because they're planning to blow up the company, so the technology doesn't get it, replicated or fall into the wrong hands, as they already hadn't. So yeah, so then they basically. So Scott basically does his role perfectly, but unfortunately, his buddies don't exactly do that. Basically, they accidentally give away their position to some police officers outside, and eventually get taken down, but not before. But they do manage to help Hank disable the laser grid that guards the chamber in which the Yellow Jacket suit is stored. Unfortunately for Scott, turns out Jason was expecting him. So yeah, teases, taunts him, and has everybody there, all the buyers pull their guns out on Hank Pym, who he intends to kill. But just as it seems that they're all seems that Hank Pym is going to be killed, Scott uses some of the technology on the Ant-Man suit to bust out, and basically fights off the gunman. Although unfortunately, Hank is wounded during the gunfight. Well, not the gunfight, during the fight. But nothing major. But basically, Jason escapes the Yellow Jacket technology, and he goes to the helicopter and takes off. So yeah, they go to the helicopter, and basically Scott chases after them, and Jason puts on the Yellow Jacket suit, and basically have a fight in the helicopter. And it becomes very clear here that at the shrinking here that the chemicals are basically driving Jason crazy. As he basically proceeds to shoot. At first, he basically just tries to shoot Scott before putting on the suit, and basically just shoots everywhere. Shoots his puts his men, and even when he's got the Yellow Jacket suit on, he's just shooting the lasers. Even shoots one of the pilots, and they have to set it down. So basically, they fall into a backyard pool, and have a brief fight, but unfortunately the cops show up, and Scott gets arrested, leaving Jason there. Unfortunately, Jason goes to Scott's ex-wife's house and plans to kidnap his daughter. Fortunately, Scott and the policemen get there, and basically that culminates in the final fight of the game, of the movie. So basically, Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket duke it out in Cassie's room. Yes, Cassie is the name of Scott's daughter. And basically, it's basically like the fight that you saw in the trailer. So yeah, they do out, but and then basically Yellow Jacket get it gets blows up, I should say. Excuse me for that. And then basically he tries to assault a police officer. Well, Allwell Scott is trying to get inside his suit to disable it, but then he realizes he needs to shrink between the particles. So yeah, shrinks between the particle, gets inside a Yellow Jacket suit, wrecks it, and basically Yellow Jacket shrinks into nothing. Unfortunately, Scott starts shrinking for eternity. So yeah, he shifts, but he does manage to find a way to reverse it and come back to regular size. So yeah, it is just as his ex-wife comes in the room. So basically, the movie ends, and that's the plot of Ant-Man in a nutshell. So, oh, oh yeah. Let's go over some of the finer details. Now, as I said in the beginning, this movie had me laughing out loud several times. And yeah, because there are just a lot of loud moments in this movie. So, for example, all the time when Hank, the Scott's friend is explaining the tip, he just constantly goes into detail, and finally, when he does explain the tip, it's one of those cases of, well, this person got the tip from this person, and this person got the tip from this person, and this person, and this person told my relative, and my relative told me. Yeah, one of those kind of deals. Funny. Another funny thing is during the final battle, like we said, battle, one of the one of the daughter's toy train engines, Thomas the Tank toy, gets blown up to giant size and crashes to the roof of the house. I have to admit, that one was pretty funny. And one of the ants gets blown up too. Yes. Yes. Basically, the technology of the Ant-Man suit, yes, it does cause where to shrink and grow. It gives them that ability. But Scott also uses a special earpiece used to be able to control ants. I have to admit, it is a pretty cool effect to watch Scott control these ants. And basically, one of the cooler parts of this movie is when he's infiltrating the facility via the water main. He's basically riding on a giant surfboard, I should say, of ants. And then he climbs up a rope of ants, and yeah, and that's pretty cool too. Ooh, ooh. There are a lot of laugh out moments, like when Scott breaks out of the police department using this Ant-Man suit. Basically, as I said, the ants bring him a shrunken version. It expands, and then basically he puts it on, and it shrinks down, and gets out of there. And basically, they have no idea where he is. I should also one of the funnier points of this is the training. Basically, apparently Hope knows how to fight. And during the training, she basically kicks his ass multiple times. That's kind of funny too. Oh, another good point, a funny one, is when is near the end of the movie when Scott is visiting his daughter. It turns out the ant that got blew up, she's keeping it, and she keeps it as a dog. And she basically comes down to feed it under the table. That's pretty funny. So yeah. Uh, Alright, so let's go over the characters. Scott, I liked him. And I thought he was a good protagonist. Just despite the fact that he is, well, you know, a thief. Or an ex-thief. Basically. Me, Jason, I thought he was a bit stereotyped, with how he's the kind of dude who wants to sell his technology to people to create weapons. I thought that was, I didn't like, I thought he was a bit stereotyped there, but I thought, well, he made a rather good antagonist. Hope, her character was nice. I was good. But I liked how they made her a strong, independent woman, and that was good too. Ooh. As far as the rest of them, no, I should say the ex-wife's new fiance, and I can't remember who he is. I liked him. So yeah, that's Ant-Man. And so, would I recommend this movie? Definitely. I laughed out loud several times during this movie. So, what would I give this movie as a rating? I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. No, an 8 out of 10. Because I liked this movie. Not scratch that at 9. Yes. Yes. Because I thought this movie was actually that good. So yeah, that's Ant-Man. And so anyway, it is, and that about wraps up this video. My name is Second814, and thank you so much for watching. It will always be at your back. See ya!